Hey guys, it's X, and this is a game called Path of Exile. It has just gone into open beta, and I will provide a link in the video description to where you can sign up, download, and play this game. It is a free-to-play game, whether it's an open beta or even on the day that it's released. This will be a free-to-play game, and it will generate its revenue based off of microtransactions. And the type of microtransactions that you can buy with real money are going to be things that are cosmetic upgrades, other skins, things like extra bank storage, like extra stash space, extra tabs, things like that. This is an action RPG. The point is that the microtransactions aren't going to give you or any other players any kind of advantage in the gameplay. There's nothing that actually makes your character stronger or other players' characters stronger, so it all stays pretty even. Now, like I said, this is an action RPG in the same vein as Diablo, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and of course Torchlight and Torchlight 2. Those are probably the most popular examples of action RPGs out there. Path of Exile is another one of these action RPG games, so that is the genre that it fits in, and I actually don't know too much about this game. I've only given a little bit of forethought into what class that I want to play, and I've played about 2 minutes of the game to make sure it runs, and just to get my feet wet for just a moment before I actually do jump in. So I do want to play the Ranger class, and the reason for that is because I think Rangers can use melee weapons and a bow, but I'm not certain. I know in EverQuest the Ranger could use dual-wielding swords or a bow, and I'm hoping that the Ranger in this game is one of those right down the middle classes who's kind of a little bit of everything. I'm hoping that's what the Ranger is, but we'll see. I'm okay if she's just ranged. I'm okay if the developers made her just a ranged class, but I'd be happier if she was a right down the middle kind of thing. But even if she was like right down the middle, I'd probably stick with ranged anyway, so that's how I'm going to choose her. It's kind of, I have a chance of having a well-rounded character, and a good chance that I'm going to have the type of character that I want to play anyway, which is going to be predominantly ranged. Even though I do want to try a melee character, I think Ranger is the one that I'm going to play anyway. Now, there are two different leagues that you can play in. There's default, and then there's hardcore. The default league means you can play just normally. It's softcore. You don't have to worry about your character dying. If your character dies, you just respawn back at town, and you just keep going. But if you play in hardcore, then your character only has one life to live. You don't want to die in hardcore, because the hardcore league has a different economy, and it has a different ladder, and if your hardcore character dies, your hardcore character gets removed from hardcore and is placed in the default league. Unlike in Diablo 3, a hardcore character in Path of Exile is not deleted outright. It is instead moved to the default league, so you can continue to play that character if you want, but you will no longer be in the hardcore economy, and you will no longer be in the hardcore ladder, or in the hardcore chat, or in the hardcore community. So basically, you get moved from the hardcore group of players to the softcore group of players for losing your character in hardcore. In any case, I'm going to select hardcore. This is my first character in Path of Exile, my first real character. Like I said, I played about 2 minutes earlier just to get my feet wet with it, and I know very little about this game. The reason that I want to do this is because I want you guys to learn the game along with me. I don't intend to make this an actual series, okay? I just finished Dishonored, and I want to have another game fill that slot. And I don't think I want it to be Path of Exile, because I don't think an action RPG makes a very good video series. I don't think it makes a good Let's Play series. I think action RPGs like Diablo 3 and Path of Exile are better streamed, like on Twitch TV or something like that. I don't know, because I feel that the audience has more of a connection to an action RPG along with the player. It's just something that I think flows better on a stream than it does on video. So I don't intend to make this a series. I figured I'd take you guys along for just the beginning part though, and maybe it'll turn into a series. I don't know. It depends on how much you guys like it, and it depends on how much fun I have doing it, and how I feel about it as a series. So I'm just going to see where we can go with it. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this game, but we are going to play it. And I'm hoping the newer players, people who aren't familiar with this, will learn along with me, and we're hoping that things are going to be interesting. So anyway, I'm going to name my character Streamy. For you guys who watched my Diablo 3 streams, you know the reason I'm naming her Streamy. And let's go ahead and get started. You guys can hear her intro.
You can't own a life. Not a deer's, not a rabbit's, and not mine. Every soul has a birth-given right to live however they will, however they can. I take from the wilderness, and one day it'll take me in return. Not that the fat lords of Ariath believe in such things. They call me poacher and thief, clap me in irons and haul me like cargo into exile. No matter. I'll make the forests and mountains of Rayclast my new home. My freedom and my bow. That's all I need.
So she was given a weapon, and now she is being cast into exile along with the rest of these folks. So, hardcore, streamy, ranger, let's go. And we start on a shoreline here. There is chat. Apparently people are talking already. What is this? Grace period, you can't be damaged. Okay, so I guess there is a 5-second grace period after spawning. And here we are, lying on the beach. And there is a crude bow and a dying exile with a quest. So we'll pick this up. Go ahead and get up off the ground. Pick up the crude bow. Now this game has some interesting mechanics that most other action RPGs don't have. Namely, what's the key? Here's my inventory. Each piece of gear has these 3 gem slots in it. I'm not sure if rings and amulets do, but I know most gear has these gem slots in it. You can see we've got a red slot, a green slot, and a blue slot, and I'll show you what those are all about in just a minute. I don't know a whole lot about this game, but I do know some of the very, very basics, and I'll explain to you guys what I do know. Wait till you see the skill tree, too. The skill tree is actually really impressive.
We're all that made it. They dumped 24 of us exiles off that ship. Guess that makes us the lucky ones. Luckier than this poor bastard beside me, at any rate. Splinter sticking out of me? Missed all the important bits. I saw smoke at those ruins up the beach. Go get some help. And on my chest...
So this guy gets attacked by a zombie. We'll shoot a couple of arrows in that zombie's head. One of the hints says to hold Alt to show items on the ground. If I hold Alt, we can see that a burning arrow gem drops. Now, if I open up my inventory, we can see the burning arrow gem right here. This actually grants my character an ability. If you look down in the lower right, you can see my left click is my default attack. Now, if I left click the ground, of course I move, just like any Diablo-style game. But if I hold Shift and left click, there is my default attack right there. And I don't have ammo, so I can shoot as many arrows as I want. But I don't have any other abilities here. We've got Q, W, E, R, and T as the abilities that we're going to gain. But here we've got the Burning Arrow Gem. Now, your class skills are not dependent... I should say this, your character skills are not dependent on your class. Now, I've had my mouse over the burning arrow for a little bit here, so you guys can read that. I'm not going to explain it, but if I grab this and I drag the green gem into the green slot on my bow, down in the lower right, we can see the burning arrow appears on my right-click button. Now, I have gained the burning arrow ability by dropping this gem into my bow, and I can right-click a gem to remove it from my bow for free. So, in this way, you can find... collect and use all of the abilities in the game on any class. Okay, and now I may be a little bit wrong in saying that. I don't know if there are some class-specific gems, but I don't think there are. I think you can use any ability in the game on any class. Of course, I'm assuming Burning Arrow can only go into a bow, and I don't know what that 1 through 70 bar is. I don't know what that actually is. I think maybe Burning Arrow levels up, but we'll see. I'll go ahead and drop that in my bow, and we'll get moving. I'm actually moving over here just to see if there's any kind of bonus or anything that I'm missing, and there is not. So our first objective is to head up the beach the way that guy said we should go. And here we have some zombies, and if I right-click, now I'm firing burning arrows at stuff. So I'm going to burn that little scorpion thing up, and I'll shoot normal arrows to take out mobs that are at fairly low health. And a splintered tower shield dropped. Now, if I hold my mouse over it, we can see that it's got 1 red gem, and we can see its basic stats right there. Or we can see its stats down there in the lower right, can't we? It's pretty nice. And here's a chest. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Diablo-style games. I picked up another crude bow. Let's see if its stats are better than my bow. So I hold Alt to compare. They are the exact same, except this bow that I just found has a single red gem, okay? Now, see, this is important to note that this is the exact same bow, but it's only got 1 red gem, making my bow superior because it's got 3 gem slots. So you can find all kinds of neat, randomly generated items in this game, just like you can in other action RPGs, but there's more variety in this game than in most action RPGs. And it gives you a lot of room for customization. Now, this beginning part of the game is very slow to start because it is like a tutorial area, and your character, of course, is fairly weak. Oh, I found a helmet, and stuff does auto-equip if you're not wearing a piece of gear in that slot. So we'll go and... Oh, I just one-shot that zombie with my fire arrow, or my burning arrow. Bam, another one. Bam, that guy too. Doing pretty good. I'm not sure if it's critting or what. I like how the arrows actually stick in the enemy's character models. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can see, if you hold Alt, you can see that there's 2 green gems by the right of crude bow. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so you know what that means. That means I can put 2 green gems in this bow, and they are linked. Now, I think that lets me link 2 abilities together to create a new ability, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Don't quote me on that one. That one was really just me kind of talking out of my ass there. Alright, so here we go. Killing some more things. I think we're nearing the ruins. I think I can open up a map here by pressing tab. Yes. And here's the map. Twilight Strand, normal difficulty, monster level 1, hardcore league. That's pretty cool that it shows those basic stats there. Bam! Let's try and peg this guy with a fire arrow from behind. That's good. Now, in hardcore and in very difficult levels, strategic and tactical fighting become important because you don't want your character to die, and you want to make use of your abilities to the max. So if I see a character or a monster that's at low health and behind other targets...
I'm still breathing. That's a good sign.
Okay, so I just gained a level. She's kind of pessimistic, isn't she? She just gained a level. She should be happy, but instead she's like, well, at least I'm still alive. You must suck at this game. Oh, I'm looking at that. I see a crystal appear on the right, and it looks like every time I use the ability here... I wonder if normal arrow shots will... Yeah, normal arrow shots do increase that bar. So you, dear viewer, and I, at the same time, are about to figure out what filling up the green gems bar does. I wonder if that gives me, like, Burning Arrow level 2 or something like that. What's this? An Armorer's Scrap. Stack size 1 to 40. Improves the quality of an armor. Right-click this item, then left-click an armor to apply it. Has a greater effect on lower rarity armors. The maximum quality is 20%. Okay, what does this actually do? Right-click, and then apply it to my plate vest. Ah, now it increased the amount of armor that I've gotten, and it's got an additional 5% quality. And I probably should have saved that for a better piece of gear, but I'm just experimenting here. And this crude bow right here has a blue and a green. That's pretty cool. I like that we can see that. I like that a lot. So we're still heading up the beach, and I'm purposely not exploring too far because I want to make sure... Ooh. Okay, so now I can click to level up. It says that over on the right side. So my skill just leveled up, and I gained a little level up animation, but it was green instead of yellow. Click to level up this Burning Arrow gem. Right click to dismiss without leveling up. Oh, let's level it up. So I clicked it, and now... What have I got here? Burning Arrow... So this gem is level 2 now, and I can move this back and forth between my items. That's pretty cool. It has more damage and all that good stuff. So it's a better version of the gem that I was just using. I mean, it's leveled up. Obviously, it's better. But it's good to know that using the weapon that has the gem in it in any fashion will level up that gem. And it's good to know that I can move that gem from item to item. So you're going to want to keep these gems. I see. Ooh, also, I wonder if that means that I can trade this gem. Like, level it up really high and then trade or sell it for other high-level gems or good amounts of money. That would be pretty cool if I could do that. Okay, this sandspitter's like shooting stuff at me. Like I said, just learning this game. Look at this guy. Hillock. He has additional life. See if, okay, he's burning now. So he burns for a bit when I do that. Let's just go ahead and spam my fire arrow on him because it does additional damage. And I believe my mana regenerates at a fair rate anyway, so we'll just go ahead and kite him. He's a melee-based mob. He is the first...
My mana is gone.
I guess he's the first mini-boss that you encounter. Let's go ahead and keep shooting him up. Out of curiosity, I wonder how much damage he does if he does hit me. Okay, so a good chunk of my health. Of course, I'm not a melee class at this point. Enter town for my reward. Okay. I've got a small life flask, driftwood wand, an orb of transmutation, nailed fist, and a corroded blade. Holy crap, I don't know what any of this is.
Slow me down.
So we're going to have to take a look at some of these things here and decide what we want to keep. Now, there is a secondary item slot here. This is a two-handed sword, so I'm going to drop that in there. That's kind of cool. Out of curiosity, because this two-handed sword has a green gem slot, I'm going to drag my old gem slot, my old green gem here, or my current green gem, into this sword. So it gives me Burning Arrow, which I obviously can't shoot without a bow. Okay, so that answers one of our other questions from earlier. So let's go ahead and grab this. Well, actually, if I drop this in here, and then I switch to... I don't know how to switch on the fly. When I switch to this... Okay, so I can't... Having it in this weapon, switching over to my other weapon will not allow me to use it. That's just one thing that I wanted to check. I wondered if just having it equipped altogether was going to give me the ability on any of my weapons. Okay, so let's see. Weapon swap is X. There we go. So now I've got this 200 sword. Nailed fist, it's a claw. I don't know if I can do that. Small life flask. Oh, if I hold Alt in my inventory, it automatically shows all of the gems on everything. That's pretty cool. This is unidentified. How do I identify it? Scroll of Wisdom, perhaps? Right click. Oh, let's find out. Yes, that does identify things. Perpetual small life flask of steadiness. 29% increased charge recovery, 59% increased stun recovery during flask effect. Right click to drink. Can only hold charges while in belt. Refills as you kill monsters. Okay, so let me drag this into my belt. So now I've got a life flask that's going to refill as I kill monsters, and I've got 2 life flasks right here. Now these things will refill. These are your health potions. I've got a passive skill point available. Oh, I forgot to level up earlier whenever I'd gained a level. That probably pissed some of you off. So let me go ahead and show you the skill tree. I mentioned that you guys were going to be impressed by that. Let me do that. Here is the skill tree. Now look how colossal this thing actually is. This is a huge skill tree. We start right here as a ranger, okay? I don't know what these actually are here. I think those are my actual stats. 14, 14, and 30. I don't know what the green one is. Let's see, dexterity. Anyway, we have 1 skill point, and we can begin branching out into this tree. Alright? Other classes start in different spots. In this same skill tree, other classes start in different spots. Like one class will start right here instead, and we'll be able to branch out this way. But you'll notice that as you level up, each class can eventually move their way into the skill points of, quote, other classes. They're not actually other classes, just every class starts at a different point on the skill tree. So as I'm a ranger, I believe this is the area where witches start or something? No, witches start down here, I think. Spellcasters... Let's see. I'm looking for the one where spellcasters actually start. To be honest, I wouldn't know. But, okay, this is the one where witches start. So, as a ranger, eventually, as I gain levels, I could work my way through the tree and put my skill points in places that are going to work all the way around to the magical side of the tree, so that I'll be part ranger, part caster, and because I can pick up other abilities like fireball and summons and things like that, I'll have this very versatile character. Or, if I want to, I can just continue to work in this direction and get a much more dexterous type of character. Because you can see this increases my attack speed, this increases my evasion. So it might be good for like a rogue type character to eventually work their way through to this part of the tree if they don't start here. So the amount of customization that you can actually do in this game that you can already see, not only with the colors of the gems, but the multiple types of gems and the way that the gems link together in gear, along with the types of skill branches that you can do, give you this tremendous amount of character customization that you can't really get in other action RPGs, and that's why Path of Exile appeals to me so much. There's all kinds of other things about this game that I want to talk about too that I will not yet, because I feel I've been talking too long about this one particular topic. I want to spend my skill point and move into the quest, so let's go ahead and do that, but I will mention things later about how this game, other ways this game is very exciting. If you want to know, this game also has something called leagues. Look that up if you want to know right away. I'll elaborate more on it a little bit later. Now, I want attack speed. I feel that I attack too slow, so I'm going to pick up the attack speed skill. Alright, what can we look forward to? Now, I have not planned a route. The ideal way to play this, I think, for the most hardcore players, is to plan your skill tree and what you're aiming towards and stuff like that. I have not done that, okay? I have just decided to pick whatever I think I need most, and I'm just going to play in a very casual fashion, even though I am playing in the hardcore league. Now, you see, now that I've got this skill point, I can branch off this way towards accuracy or this way towards dexterity, and from there, further branching off. So it's actually really cool. Anyway, that's done. Let's keep moving. Now, if you are familiar with Path of Exile, and all of this long-winded explanations and talking is not your cup of tea, please you might do yourself a favor by just skipping the rest of this video, because there's going to be more of that. If you do enjoy this, then please, by all means, keep watching. So, we have to enter town for our quest reward. Enemy at the gate. You've killed Hillock. Enter town for your reward. So I guess that's kind of where I need to go. Like I said, I'm learning all this here. Lion Eyes Watch. Well, let's get inside. I wonder if I can run into the water, and how far. Not very. Oh, are these other players? VS Stoic? And Ariora Blue, level 4? Yeah, I think those are other players. That's pretty cool. They're not even in my game. Like, I didn't really invite them into my game. I guess this is like a hub. This is kind of like a public area and a hub.
Welcome to our home away from home, for what it's worth. I'm Nessa, that putrid giant you just laid to rest. That was Hillock. You're lucky. He's eaten stronger exiles than you. Don't count on that luck lasting. It's in short supply here in Rayclast. Still, you've rid us of a curse, and we owe you our thanks. Lionel's watch isn't much, but it's ours. We could use you here, while you live. But should you wish to venture out, do just one thing for me. Out on the coast, amongst the wreck, there must be a ship's medicine chest. I have many to care for, and there's only so much I can do with herbs and seawater.
Okay, so Nessa would like us to go find a medicine chest. So she's given us a quest, so we will consider doing that. Now we can sell items here. I haven't really looked too much into the items I've currently got, but it doesn't look like I can use much of this. I don't even know what an Orb of Transmutation does. Upgrades a normal item to a magic item. That's pretty cool. I'll hold on to that for now. So let's go ahead and sell this stuff. I guess it's double click, control click. Okay, control click adds it to my offer. So this works just like a trading screen. Unlike most merchants in most games, this works like a trading screen between you and another player, although it is an NPC. So holding control and clicking will move stuff to your offer for what you're actually going to sell. And look, this is a magic wand. I can't really... it's unidentified, so let's go ahead and right-click and identify it. Increased spell damage, more mana, more accuracy. I'm not really going to be using a wand, so I'll go ahead and sell that. A nailed fist, I don't think I'll be using that either. So she's going to offer me a scroll of wisdom and a scroll fragment. If I stack 5 fragments, it becomes a scroll of wisdom. I see, okay. Now, I'm guessing, I didn't know this about the game, but I'm guessing there is no gold. There is no currency in this game. It's a barter system. This world, the world of Path of Exile, works entirely on a barter system. That intrigues me. That is something else about this game that I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. Jeez, this is turning out to be better and better. Everything, the more I find out about this game, the more I like it. And there's a social panel. Okay, so I found the buttons where I can actually look at stuff. So let's go ahead and sell this stuff. It's called sell, but it's actually trade now, isn't it? So accept that trade. Let's see what she's actually got for sale. I see. So she wants orbs of transmutation and scrolls of wisdom to buy things. So these serve as the currency and as the consumable items that you use throughout the game. That is lovely. Honestly, that is wonderful. A portal scroll. So it's town portal, and it costs 3 scrolls of wisdom to actually buy one of those. Okay, so I've got to keep that in mind. Town portal scrolls, of course, very useful in this game. And if it sounds like my voice is going out, it's because I believe it is. I've been using my voice a little too much recently. I've really got to give it a break at some point, but I just don't feel like it. I want to be doing this. So there's that. I'll say goodbye to her. And then there's Bestel.
A ravishing ranger relegated to rot in Rayclast. That's the first line of the poem I'm writing about you, Exile. Easy, girl. You could skewer a bloke with a look like that. The name's Bestel, captain of the good ship Merry Gowan. Alas, my Merry Gowan is gone. My crew is gone. But my wits remain, after a fashion. There's an island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore of the terraces. That's where my Merry Gowan ran aground. Watched the locals spit roast the ship's doctor, but his medicine chest might still be there, amongst the splinters and bones. It'd have everything Nessa might need. Dr. Shaky Hands Opton was lousy with a scalpel and even worse with a saw. But he knew his apothecary. Explains the shaky hands, if you ask me.
Okay, so we've got a couple of people who want medicine chests here, and we can ask him about Nessa if we want to, or the drowned dead. Let's go ahead and ask him about Nessa.
Poor Nessa. Not even a mother herself, and yet she cares for us all. And what a sickly, pathetic brood we are. May she live to have her own family. A real family. If anyone deserves that, Nessa does.
That's pretty cool. I don't really care about the drowned dead, I'm just gonna kill them, so goodbye. Now there's a notice board here. Not really sure what that is. Oh, here's my stash. Let's go there first. Why do I want to go there first? I don't know. I have nothing really to stash. So this crude bow is pretty crude. Out of curiosity, I'm going to drop an Orb of Transmutation onto my crude bow to make it a magical item. Now it says upgrades a normal item. I don't know if normal is white name like this, or if normal is... Oh, it's white name too. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a magic bow out of this. Failed to apply item. Make sure it's the right type and that it is not equipped. Okay. If it was a skill gem, make sure it's not in a socket. Oh wow, you can make a skill gem a magic item? Really? I want to try that. Okay, so that's actually not going to work, I guess, because it's already magic. But let's go ahead and try the bow now. Ooh! Increased physical damage, plus 10 to dexterity, plus 5 to accuracy rating. So using that transmutation consumable gave me a much better bow. Increased damage and everything. So we add Burning Arrow back to it and re-equip it, and now we're better equipped to handle the monsters that are out there. Impressive. That's pretty fun. Now I want to open up the social panel and see what this is all about. Oh, there are parties here that we can join. Starting new players, running fast, prison, nubs are I don't know what any of these parties want me to do, so I can create a party here. And of course, make it public or what have you. And of course, there's my friends list, which is currently empty. Open the passive skills panel. That is this tree that we've seen already. The world panel. I don't think I can really travel anywhere by clicking here. And there's the legend for the map. Oh, are these my quests? These are my quests. And I don't think I've obtained my reward yet for killing Hillock. But the Mercy mission takes me there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Social. The map is there. Inventory is B, we know that. Accidentally clicked on the ground. The character panel. These are my stats. Next level 3 requires 1760 experience. I got 549 to go. Oh, okay, I can see each of my abilities here by clicking on these. And these give me some vital stats on each ability. So if you look to micromanage your character and squeeze every last point and min-max your character to the fullest, this is a screen that you're going to be visiting. Charges. I don't know what most of this stuff is just yet. I'm pretty sure it'll become evident in time. I mean, I've got a basic idea of what this stuff is, but... etc., etc. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. Oh, the notice board. Yeah, we want to check that. Oh. It basically just opens up the social menu. And here's where I can do a party invite. Pretty sweet. And this will increase my mana. Consumes 14 of 40 charges. Currently has 40 charges. Refills as you kill monsters. Okay. Yeah, all of your flasks, from what I've seen, refill.
Fine work with Hillock. Where'd you learn to fight like that? No, don't tell me. We exile.
Oops, I accidentally skipped it by clicking. Whatever, that's fine. Select one reward. Split arrow? Now, what kind of gems do I have here? Red and blue. What does this red one do? Cleave. An AoE melee attack. So it is a skill gem. I thought green ones were skill gems, but I guess a red one can be a skill gem too. The character swings their weapon, or both weapons if dual wielding, in an arc towards the target. Also does damage to other nearby monsters. Only works with axes and swords. Now, we've equipped this, but that's a green slot, so I could not drop that gem in there. What does this do? Dual strike. Attacks with both weapons, dealing the damage of both in one strike. Dual wield only. Does not work with wands. Okay, so I can't really make use of this. However, I do want to dual wield eventually, but I could also learn split arrow at the same time. Fires multiple arrows at different targets. Let's go ahead and pick that up, because I think that'll ultimately, if I level it up, do me better than the burning arrow will. So let's go ahead and select this. Drag it over. Alright, sweet. We can ask about Lion Eye's Watch here, or any of the other characters.
The walls of this old ruin, Lion Eye's Watch. Defensible enough with a few stout, well-armed veterans. But what have I got? Starving exiles with driftwood clubs and rusted dirks. Still, there's the waypoint. A piece of locomancy. Couldn't use it till I found another one out in the mudflats under a rower's nest. Step on that one and you're back here in a flash. Though I spill my lunch every time I use the damn thing.
Okay, so there's a waypoint here. I'm not really going to ask about anybody else. And now the reason I'm not really asking about anybody else is because I want to keep the video moving. I feel that we're slowing things down enough by explaining everything as I view it. Naturally... Ooh, I've entered the terraces. What am I here for?
I've seen a wilderness like this before. There'll be some dark days ahead.
Okay, I exited through the other side. In any case, obviously things are slowed down because I'm explaining everything verbally. If I were playing this just for myself, I would be reading things and going through it a lot faster without taking the time to explain. But for the sake of keeping the video moving, I will skip out on some dialogue so that I can still effectively learn the game and explain it to you guys at the same time. Okay, so we've got split arrow now. Let's go ahead and actually use it. Let's take this down. Drop split arrow in there. Oh, 2 additional arrows. So it's actually 3 arrows. And wow, that takes up quite a bit of mana. So if I open up the world panel now... I am in this spot, so I've got to move to the southeast to get to the quest. Now I wonder if all 3 arrows can hit a target if I'm close to them. It doesn't look like it. There's a rusted hatchet. That'd be okay to start my dual wielding, I think. A driftwood club. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and select this. Get rid of my two-handed sword. Put a driftwood club and a rusted hatchet in my hand and try this out. Bam! Bam! It's kind of cool. But I should be leveling up my other skill set, so let's do that. I do enjoy the graphics of this game. They feel more Diablo 2, and I like that. Okay, so now the mobs are actually starting to move pretty quick. And they're putting up... Okay, so now I can actually start using my melee abilities because they're coming up close. I'll pop a health potion and let it restore my health. Now remember, I just used number 1. And that refilled some of my health, and the flask itself will refill as well. An Orb of Alchemy and a Plate Vest. The Orb of Alchemy does what? Upgrades a normal item to a rare item. Really? But I have a magic item now. I wonder if it'll work on my bow. Let's try this. Right click. Nope, it has to be a normal item. Out of curiosity, I'll right click the Orb of Alchemy and click on my corroded blade. Now this is probably not a good idea, but let's see what this sword actually does now. Increased accuracy, increased physical damage, adds cold damage, higher crit chance, and +5 to accuracy rating. So let's do this. Now these are all low level items, so to be honest I'm not worried about using these things here. So now I've got this rare two-handed sword. Wow, I can't hit for crap with this thing. I'm okay with that, though. It's something to switch to when these guys get in close. See? Now I can use my bow otherwise by pressing X. Switch back to my bow. Get a few shots off. Use my mana potion, my health potion. Could really use a melee skill instead of just my sword. I want to level up that shot. There we
The worms
go.
will have to wait a bit longer for this meal.
Not sure I like Split. I don't think it's actually doing me a whole lot of good right now. So let's drop this and put Fire Arrow back in. Burning Arrow, that is.
My mana is gone.
It is gone, so I'll hit 5 to regenerate my mana. Because that's the number on my belt there. I'm trying to set some enemies on fire with Burning Arrow. Let's use my big old two-hander now that they're up close. Switch back to the bow. Alright, alright. Fun gameplay. Oh, I hope I didn't cut Fraps off. I accidentally just hit the Windows key. No, we're good. We're good. And we've got a spellcaster up there. Again, using my health potion. There's a chest just lying here. And some items.
That would only slow me down.
Wow, okay, so we got a lot coming at me now. I leveled up. I should put a skill point in. Probably help me out a lot here. So, things are actually a lot more challenging here than they were in the previous area. Now see, this is why I wanted the Ranger class. Because I wanted a class that would do well with both a sword, with both melee and at range. Unfortunately, whenever you're playing a class like that, you're often called to use both, and life is not simple for either of them.
That would only slow me down.
There we go. Let's go ahead and funnel them through this choke point here. Okay, what's dealing most of the damage to me? Whew! Almost died there. What's dealing most of the damage to me here is that spellcaster in the background. And actually I'm taking a lot of damage from something I don't know. A mob called Fire Fury. Resist fire damage, cast Firestorm. Firestorm's actually not hurting that much. I don't see anything else this mob is actually doing to me. Okay, so that was a... I don't know what the orange name mobs are, but we're picking up some stuff here. I'm not really interested in most of these white items. Maybe these greaves. That'll probably help out, huh? It's a scroll of wisdom. Now we do want to pick those up. Now you'll notice I've been using my potions a lot. Just goes to show you that the game is challenging from the start. Of course, not from the very start, because they want you to learn it. But it can do quite a bit to get in your way, which I like.
That would only slow me down.
Very interesting. Okay, I picked up a couple of items here. And I've got one town portal scroll. Obviously, I'm going to need to do some trading. Now, some of these... Now, you do have a miss chance, I believe. So some of these arrows that look like they should be hitting are missing for that reason. Well, that one was just me whiffing, but... There we go. Got another white one down there. Let's see what... Let's do my skills. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, what do I need now? I think I need some health, but I can't actually upgrade health because I'm a ranger. Not yet. I'd have to work toward it. Uh-oh. Being attacked while trying to do that. I'm just reading. I just read chat right now. Somebody's like way excited about this game. That's good though. It's very good. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about this game too. I'm having fun doing this, and I don't know if you guys watching the video are having quite the same experience. But you let me know. You let me know, dear viewers, if you like this kind of video. I'm having fun playing this, but I'm probably going to move it to my stream. Now, I feel I need to pop a potion in every one of these fights, and if I do, I feel okay. Ow. Okay, I need a better... I need a skill gem for that sword. Okay, maybe now I can open this up. No, I cannot. Resists chaos, huh? Alright, so let's find out what I want to up next. I want to know what exactly dexterity does for my character. So let's open up the character panel and move my mouse over to dexterity. 1 dexterity equals +2 accuracy, and 5 dexterity equals +1% evasion. So for every 1 dex I have, I get 2 accuracy, and for every 5 dex I have, I get 1% evasion. I see how that works. So you get bonuses for those increments. Oops. What is the hotkey for Path? It's P. So dexterity increases my accuracy and my ability to dodge attacks. So that increases my durability. Whereas accuracy directly relates to how much I can, to how easily I hit targets with my attacks. Now I can upgrade melee damage or projectile damage branching beyond that. Now I don't really want to go for a glass cannon build because I'm playing hardcore. So I think if I moved through dexterity, I would get 2 dexterity points, 3 dexterity points, and then eventually move to perfect aim, which would then increase my damage. So I'll do these to increase my durability and my accuracy because I want the dodge. There we go. I want the dodge chance, which tends to be a ranger's way of surviving. Now the map is kind of hard to read because it kind of blends in with the grass and stuff, and I don't know if there's an easier way to actually read that, or if there's a way to make it contrast more with the background or not. But the game is in open beta. The developers have been very responsive.
That would only slow me down.
The developers have been very responsive to the community. They talk directly to the community through Kripparrian's stream sometimes. Oh, a glass shank? Really? That seems cool. So a two-handed sword, not really the best idea for a ranger, I think. Obviously, I think I want to dual-wield swords if I want to go dual-wielding at all. Wow, that guy's got like 4 arrows in his head. My skill gem hasn't gotten close to leveling up just yet. Bam! I just saw that crit. I think the screen kind of shakes a bit when you crit. Yeah, that's nice. That is very nice. I like that subtle little feedback that the game gives you for that effect, for that crit. Now, it may seem like the game is going fairly slow, but it doesn't feel that way while playing it. Oh, do I want to go to Tidal Island? Is that where I'm going next? Yes. Reading chat. One of my friends died in hardcore and still here. What? It's kind of weird. Might be a bug. Unless that person means they were playing with a friend. Oh look, a purple named mob. Kind of like the elites. I think that level actually just saved my life there. What are these things? Oh, these things have shield. Well, they break pretty quick though. Another portal scroll, that's good. A coral ring. Let's see what that coral ring is. I'm pretty sure. Plus 27 to maximum life. That's exactly what I needed. Sweet, sweet ring. Adding to that durability. So we've got these portal scrolls too. So I can go back to town and sell at any point. But I don't think I really need to right now. Oh, I just gained a level. I keep forgetting to do that, and for that I apologize. I know it's frustrating to watch somebody do that. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and grab the next point of dexterity. So the levels seem to be coming fairly quick, which is a good thing. They do slow down a bit later, but it's a good thing that you get a few skill points quickly. So we can see that my dexterity has gone up. And one more skill point in dexterity, and then we can branch off and see what we want to do from there. Now, from there, we can go to extra resistances and all kinds of neat stuff. So let's go ahead and continue. Ooh, I just saw one for bow attack speed. And if I can get like a machine gun bow, I would love to do that. Chain belt, I could probably use that. One thing that feels a little off... Ooh, I gained an energy shield with that belt. Notice my health orb now. I've got a shield now. Sort of like a Protoss unit in StarCraft. That shield will regenerate after the fight when I'm out of combat. You see that? That's pretty cool, right? So that protects me. There's a shield there. And my burning arrow gem is about to level up. One odd thing about this game is that if you have your mouse right over a target...
My mana is gone.
And you attack, the arrow still doesn't necessarily go directly toward them. So it does add a bit of skill to it, sort of, but I don't know, sometimes it feels like an arrow should hit when it doesn't. And I don't think it's the mischance, I think it's a legitimate aiming thing. Oh! Okay. An empty chest in Diablo meant an explosion or something. Now this game... obviously would be a blast to play with friends. What is this? A mob named Hail Rake? Was that it? Anyway, let's clear out his minions. That's not the way to do that. Wow, I'm slowed. Holy crap, this is bad. I'm using my number 3 flask because that's the magic one, if you guys remember. So let's clear these minions out, or these mobs out. Switch back to my bow. Take out the other minion, or mob, whatever. What are you? Hail Rake. Yeah, resists cold. Casts Ice Spear. So I can get some burning damage on this mob, and then just go straight up melee on him. Unless the bow is probably better even at close range. No, I've got a rare sword. Let's use this. Yeah, that's better. Much better for melee. Okay, so let's see what was actually... a medicine... Oh, that's what we needed, the medicine chest. Let's go ahead and use the health potion.
That would only slow me down.
The medicine chest would only slow me down. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of like some worthless stuff here. What is this? 15 armor? 14 armor? Psh, no. So then we don't need... Wait, this will add a skill gem. I see. Okay, I'm going to lose 1 point of armor for this. Equip this. And then give myself split arrow in my chest piece? Okay, so now my middle mouse does burning arrow, and my right click does split arrow. I wonder if I can drag off from there. Let's see. Oh, I see. If I click this, I can set this to split and this to burning arrow. Okay, so now my right click is still burning arrow, but now middle click does this. So by adding a skill gem to my armor, I've gained a new skill for my character. Pretty sweet. That I like. Well, since I'm going to town anyway, I'm just going to take however many items I can. The medicine chest obviously is a must. Take it to Nessa. Just going to rearrange my equipment here and try and take along... What is this simple robe? Let's go ahead and drop the medicine chest. I don't really need a robe. It's unidentified anyway. All this stuff is going to be unidentified. I don't really need the rusted hatchet. I don't need that rusted hatchet or this glass shank or this crude bow. I've got better. A superior Driftwood club. Let's see. Fish scale gauntlets that I can't wear. Why not? Because they're unidentified. It's going to identify the gauntlets. Adds physical damage, and I gain cold resistance. Since I have no gloves, those are obviously better. Tribal club. Small life flask. Unidentified? Yes, it is. But let's see what it does for me. 50% reduced amount recovered. Bubbling small life flask of resistance. 135% chance increased recovery speed. 50% of recovery applied instantly. Oh, that's pretty cool. 24% additional elemental resistance during the flask's effect. I'll go ahead and put that in slot 4. but it heals less overall. See, it recovers 30 life over 2.6 seconds, whereas this one recovers 60 life over 6 seconds. So this thing instantly recovers more life quicker, whereas this one recovers more and is a bit more reliable. So you need to know which flask you're actually going to be using. A tribal club and a simple robe. I'll go ahead and take the magic items with me. And whatever else we can actually pick up. Out of curiosity, I wonder if I can just close this and like hold control click and click on stuff. Oh well, it just picks it up anyway.
That would only slow me down.
Okay, now we've got 2 skill gems ready to level up. I'm going to keep running around out here just to see what kind of mischief I can get into. Now, which skill was that actually just leveled up? Ooh, both of them. Armorer's Scrap. Okay, let's go ahead and level up Split Arrow. And the other one. Well, let's see. Split Arrow now does 3 arrows, which it was doing before anyway. Burning Arrow now has a higher chance to ignite, so Burning Arrow got better as well, obviously. I should be going back to town, but I'm just going a little bit further, seeing what else is here, and all that good stuff.
My mana is gone.
Split Arrow consumes way too much mana, and I don't think it does a lot of damage. I'm hoping that in leveling it up, it will reward me later, but I'm not certain that it will. Okay, I want to see what's actually down here. Nothing. This sword is so strong just because it's rare. Better for a ranger overall, I think. At this point, I think it's better for any class right now to be using this particular sword because it's a rare one. That's pretty cool. So you can combine the effects of all of your flasks if you want to. Ooh, a rare ring. Glad I kept moving. Let's see what this actually is. Additional damage, more mana, evade more, extra fire resistance, increased... Ooh, increased rarity of items found. I like that. That's cool. Let's keep moving. What is this? Armor Scrap. Improves the quality of an armor. I guess I can use that on my gloves. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, what is the quality of it right now? 1 or 2 physical damage, 10% cold resistance, 8 armor. Quality plus 2%. I don't think it actually did anything for it, though. Could be wrong. But it does have a couple of gem slots that I need to fill. Of course, I haven't found many gems, so this early on, that's nothing to be concerned about. Now, we've got some targets down there. I can't reach them. Yeah, I can. If I hold shift, click off in that direction. I can't actually target them because the game doesn't want to let me shoot that far, but if I target near them and shoot in that direction, I can hit them. What is this? Dune Scavenger? Dropped a shield. Well, that's one time that Split Arrow did well. I like this sword. This sword is nice. I said earlier it was probably a mistake to do that, but I don't think so anymore. I need a nice melee skill to go along with it. Okay, so we've come full circle here. Let's return to town. Hit the Windows key again on accident. Make sure Fraps is still recording. It most certainly is. Hitting the Windows key does nothing negative here. Wait, where am I? Oh, yeah, I guess if I want to go back to town, the best way to do it would be the town portal. There we go. Now, where exactly do I go to turn in all this stuff? Okay, so the portal opens up at the bottom of town, so that's pretty sweet. And I wonder if these players can actually use my portal. I doubt it, because I don't see theirs. So let's talk to Nessa about this.
A medicine chest. This means more to us than you can know. There are some who wouldn't have lasted the night without it. Take this, in return for the knowledge that one can do more than suffer in Rayclast. You and Tarkley, you give us something better than serums and souls. You give us hope.
So, she's offering me a flask. A quicksilver flask. Lasts 5 seconds. And I get 40% increased movement speed. Obviously, that's the one I'm going to take. But let's look at the others. There's a mana flask and a life flask that gives me more mana over time. But obviously, the run speed is the one that you want. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go ahead and sell some stuff. I can't identify these because I don't have the necessary scrolls. So let's just go ahead and drop them. 8 armor helm, 8 armor helm. Wool gloves. There we go. What are you going to give me? Transmutation shards, scroll fragments, and scroll of wisdom. Take that, say goodbye. And let's drop this flask into number 4. The insta-heal potion will go... I'll sell it. There we go.
So, you managed to salvage Shaky Hand's druggery. Nicely done. Nessa will put it to good use. More than that benumbed quack Optin ever did. Here, have one of these.
Nice. Ooh, very nice. Several different skills to choose from. Poison arrow. That sounds nice. Fire trap. Throws a trap that explodes when triggered, leaving an area of burning ground that damages enemies who walk through it. Pretty cool. Double strike. Now this might work well with my sword. Performs 2 fast attacks on target enemy with your main hand melee weapon. I hope this works for two-handed weapons, because this thing deals a lot of damage, and I would love to double strike with it. Detonate dead. Is this corpse explosion? Explodes an unused corpse, dealing fire and magical damage to nearby enemies. Deals some physical damage, and it deals base fire damage equal to 18% of the corpse's maximum life. Yes, this is exactly corpse explosion. I love it. This is great. I loved corpse explosion in Diablo 2. Dual strike. Okay, that's for dual wielding. Cleave. The character swings their weapon or both weapons if dual wielding in an arc. Okay, we know what this one does. So do I want an AoE attack or a nice focused single target attack with my sword? I think I can... Do I even have a red gem? Yes. So I can put that skill gem in here and have it ready for my sword at any point. But I can only choose one of these. I want either cleave or double strike. Let's see, double strike costs 8 mana. This costs 7 mana. And considering I'm usually ambushed by a whole bunch of mobs in front of me, let's get cleave. Thank you, sir. Now, there's another quest here. Let's go ahead and drop this in my gloves. Or in my helmet, I guess. Put it in my gloves. Now it goes to Q. No, Burning Arrow went to Q. Whenever I have my... What is this? My bow equipped. So whenever I have my sword equipped, I want to set this to cleave. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Sword is cleave. I see. Only these abilities change whenever you switch to a new weapon. So for this, I want this to be cleave. And I want this to be Burning Arrow. Or not. I actually don't understand how that works just yet. We'll figure it out after we pick up the quest. Okay, there's a pool near the mudflats. A pond turned septic. You'll smell it before you see it. I stayed there only long enough to sear the hairs out of my nostrils and to see what dwells there. Dead birds walking. Dead birds walking doesn't sound good. Animals don't seem to rise up after death the same as people do here, so if they aren't raising themselves, what's doing it for them? The answer's in that fetid pool near the mudflats. I know a place stinks to high heaven, but so does the idea of a flock of overactive bird carcasses hungry for a bit of living meat. Clear the place out and deal whatever's raising those birds, and deal to whatever's raising those birds and be in your debt. Okay, sweet. So now I've got my quest that I've got to do here. Clear the fetid pool. Off in a dirty job. Where's the quest? I guess it's out there. So let's get moving. I guess I'll just go this way. Now, I've got my bow out, but obviously I can't cleave. So with my bow out, I'm going to go ahead and clear this spot. And make this fire arrow the way that it's always been. Switch to my two-handed weapon. And I'd like to make this cleave. But if I do that and then I switch back to my bow, cleave stays in the right click and the burning arrow moves down there. So that's actually a little bit frustrating. But I want burning arrow to be there. Well, you know what? No, that's fine. No. Maybe I can do this. Let's go ahead and clear all of these. I'll leave that be my main attack. And on my bow, let's go ahead and make this split arrow. Make middle click, fire arrow. I'm sorry, right click, fire arrow. Middle click can't be cleave. I actually have no idea how this thing wants me to assign my skills. It's acting very peculiar. Since my bow is the thing I'm going to be using most, I believe. This will be fire, this will be split, just the way I had it before. I'll switch to this and make Q cleave, which should be just fine. Okay. Now, am I even headed in the right direction? Gotta head north from here. So I guess once I get over here on the map, I'll just take a left, or yeah, a left. Pretty close. I'm gonna try cleave out, so I'm gonna run into the next group of mobs with sword ready. Nope, I guess this isn't the way I'm supposed to go. And the area is already mostly clear. Oops. Little lackluster there. But it is Q League of Legends style. And it seems like it would be effective when something does approach me. But as a ranger, I'm hoping not to let anything approach me too often. Although I don't think I have a lot of choice in this game. Are there PvP in this game? Someone just asked. And yes, I could have taken my town portal back out here, but I was already exploring to try and figure out a way to get north. Yes, there is PvP. I don't know how to do it, but I know that you can join PvP in arena style. So I just found the mudflats, so here we go. We're in the location where we need to be. Now, if I activate this waypoint, I can go right back to Lion Eye's Watch. Let's go ahead and click that, just so I know where the waypoint actually is. Okay, so it's just below the main market area. And I can hit up the mudflats from here. Very sweet. Whoa! Didn't even see that thing. Okay, I should really only be using cleave whenever there's a bunch of enemies nearby. This thing has like a charge ability on him. And whenever firing into a crowd like that, the split arrow does seem to come in. Little handy. And I'm just now taking notice of my experience bar down at the very bottom of the screen, because I'm looking forward to my next skill point. And my red gem, which is Cleave, is actually about to level up. So it levels up no matter what. I'm not even using the sword, and it's leveling up. Wool shoes. I doubt they're better than what I got, yeah? 4 energy shield versus 6 armor. I think I'll hold on to the 6 armor. Interesting. Okay, so Cleave levels up. Let's go ahead and let it do that. I wonder why you would not want to level a skill gem. It gives you the option. I wonder why. I wonder when you would ever not want to let it level up. Bam.
Strife brings strength. That's nature for you.
Yes. Shut up. I could add evasion rating now. Now again, you don't have to stick to the path that you're going. Now again, I believe this is one of the reasons this is called Path of Exile, because you draw these paths. But I can jump into evasion now if I wanted to here, and then branch out this way. There are a lot of dexterity skill points. I liked bow attack speed. But you know what? I'm really liking this two-handed sword. So maybe I'm gonna move away from the bow and move towards swords. I like that. This little icon right here is a sword icon. This must be daggers. Yeah. And these are claws. And here's the bow and arrow. So this will help me get... This is bow damage right here. Well, as this will be also bow damage. I think if I had a tanky person to play alongside me, I'd probably go bow mostly, but I think as a ow, what the, whatever. I think as a solo character, I'm gonna move towards sword. Sword damage and accuracy. Okay, so if I want to get these, I'm gonna move this way, but let's make sure we don't have any other sword abilities close by on the tree. Increased accuracy is not a bad idea. Weapon artistry. While dual wielding or holding a shield. That's one thing I like about going the sword route, is I have a good two-handed sword right now, but I'm pretty sure I will move away from that and go dual wielding swords, which will help here. Sword damage and accuracy, sword damage. Dexterity. Okay, so I'm actually going to move up and move towards the sword. Actually, moving up is probably the best way anyway, because I get a ton of options once I move up. So let's go ahead and select this, and then I'll begin moving upward this way. It's going to give me more mana going that way too. So what is my objective here? I don't know. I forget. First time Cleave actually came in handy. Like, really handy. Power ring. Really? A power ring? +2 to maximum mana? Is that an amulet slot or a ring slot? That is an amulet slot. Well, obviously I want the 2 rings I have right now. Trying to switch too quickly between my weapons. Yeah, you gotta give it a little bit of time in between attacks. Now, as I am playing on hardcore, I should be focusing more on keeping my life up. Ooh. What skill is this? Split arrow? Does it actually split into more arrows now? Ooh.
My mana is gone.
Ooh. That's hurting more. Now, I think split arrow with a piercing modifier would do great, because you can modify your abilities if you get the right type of slots in your gear. Roa nest. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm after. Just take a moment to relax to this music, honestly. I'm actually going to stop talking for a little bit here and just chill out to this music because it is awesome. Just the environmental sounds, even. Even when it gets a little eerie and scary, it's still the kind of stuff that you can kind of just chill out to. I do like the music in this game. It's something you don't really get in Diablo. Diablo 3, that is. Wait, do I have this waypoint yet? Yeah, I came full circle here. So I'm supposed to be finding a use for these gems. Oh, hello! Holy crap. Ooh, Quicksilver. Forgot about that. Well, this makes kiting a lot easier. And it refills as I kill monsters, so I gotta be careful. Iron gauntlets, a branch. Identified 6 armor. Oh, let's go and identify it. I don't know if it's worth the scroll. Ooh, 12 dex, okay. Yeah, worth the scroll. Sweet. It's got the red gem, too. Adding to the mana probably doesn't hurt. Adding to my mana probably doesn't hurt either. And unidentified gnarled branch. I probably shouldn't really be looking at staves. Yeah, this two-handed sword. Too good to pass up, really. Again, this is exactly why I wanted the ranger. Don't think I've been this way yet. Oops. Was trying to press Q and I pressed 1 several times. Ended up using up my entire flask there. But it refills. So not a terrible mistake. Missed an orb of transmutation here earlier. Oh man. So trying to hold Alt to see things on the ground and then pressing Tab to bring up the map. Alt tabs. Kicks you out of the game. Find the glyphs in the Roa nests. Okay, yeah. I was trying to do that. I wish I could drag the map. So I picked up 2 glyphs already. There it is. Take the glyphs to the glyph wall, which are out here, which is in this direction. An iron ring. It looks kind of like a sword. Rusted spike. Maybe that can turn into a rare item later. I am glad I used that 1 orb of transmutation or whatever it was to make this a rare weapon. Played out well for me. Where is the glyph wall? Okay, so apparently M opens up the microtransaction shop. That's pretty cool. Is this a glyph wall? This is a glyph wall. Yay, the cave is opened. And I can go in there without... Ooh. Without first talking to the quest NPCs. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that before we go any further. Because they might give me a quest inside that cave and I want to make sure I don't miss it.
So you opened the tidal passage and live to tell the tale. Forgive me if I don't seem over the moon about it. I was running down a wounded rower one night's eve when I glimpsed something in that watery cave behind the mists of the falls. Looked a bit like one of those sand spitters, but the size of a bloody ox. I reckon it'll be nesting down in the flooded depths, somewhere below that submerged tunnel. If you're going that way, then do us a favor. Take this and go spill the old shield crab's guts before it gets hungry and comes looking for us.
Okay, so another quest reward here. Double Strike, which would be useful. Viper Strike. Requires a claw, dagger, or sword. Inflicts a debuff on the foe, which deals chaos damage over time and can stack up to 4 times. Each time it is reapplied, the duration is refreshed. Better for fast striking weapons, I believe. Rolling Blades dive through enemies, dealing weapon damage. Only works with daggers, claws, and one-handed swords. Okay, I'm not really using those. Rain of Arrows, an area of effect spell. Wow, 841, I guess that's uses. Fires a large number of arrows into the air and land at the target after a short delay. Bear Trap immobilizes a single enemy. So if I throw a bear trap and immobilize an enemy for... What is the duration? Locks enemy in place. The trap itself lasts 30 seconds. So I drop it, drag an enemy to it, and then I can just shoot them without having to worry about it. But I want to know how long it actually locks the enemy in place. That could be handy. Poison Arrow sounds good, but I don't think anything survives long enough to take too much poison damage. Ice Shot fires an arrow that converts some physical damage to cold, and converts all physical damage to a cold in a cone behind that target. Creates a patch of ground ice under the target. 40% physical damage converted to cold. Base duration is okay. I actually like that. That sounds cool. A slowing attack is always good with a ranged weapon. Now, do I have a green slot to equip that, though? Yes, I do. In my boots. Do I have a second red slot? I do. What is this red one? Shield charge. I would need a shield for that, though. Double Strike for my melee weapon, which would really help me tear down enemies quickly. Or Ice Shot. I think Ice Shot, because I've already got Cleave for my melee weapon. Let's pick up Ice Shot. And let's sell some stuff. Don't really want this with this, 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 with this. Definitely want the arbor transmission. Don't really want that. Or well, there's a one-hander. I think I'll start picking up the one-handed weapons, the stuff that I want to use later on, though. You know what? No, I'll put these in my stash. I'll put these two in my stash, and let's go ahead and accept that. I'll store these two items in my stash. They're both one-handed swords. Until my two-handed weapon here begins to weaken, and then I'll start looking for other options. So I'll go ahead and drop this in there. Wait, that's ice shot. Drop this here. Now ice shot is W. Just out of curiosity, if I go to the bow and I clear ice shot there, okay, yeah, so those stay the same. So you've got a balance to work out here. Oops. Now let's take my portal back. I don't think I have to repair anything. Yeah, I don't think there's durability in this game. So now I've got to kill some sort of crab thing out here? Missed. Bam! Bam! I like that! Level up. So I was gonna move up this way, get some extra mana. Oh, that monster just waited for me to level. That's cool. I appreciate that. See, I was clearly pointing at that one mob, and the arrow was fired in the wrong direction. I do like how this thing creates a cone of cold.
My mana is gone.
Whenever you shoot a target, and it hits all the other targets behind. So, first truly good bow ability I found. It's got a satisfying effect, too. I like that. It's pretty nice. Let's open up my map. Wow, I think I just killed 3 of them with a single cleave. Yeah! Alright, this is starting to feel more natural now. Feels like a mix between League of Legends and Diablo. But I have to admit, the gameplay is fairly slow. Now, I've seen this game played at higher level, so I know it gets a lot faster paced later on. But one of the things that I heard about this game when it was in beta was that it does take a while for it to actually ramp up in difficulty, or in gameplay. And that's probably my biggest complaint about it so far, is that nothing... While things were challenging for a bit there, nothing has really challenged me since I grasped the controls and things like that. Now, I think you can turn up the monster level, but I think that would just increase the difficulty of the monsters and not really make things feel more hectic. I think I'll make this Path of Exile video one long video. I don't think I'll cut it up. It's flooded depths there. I could just continue down, or I could explore the rest of this area. Now there is incentive to explore the rest of this area. Obviously experience is one such incentive. And then of course there's loot. Ooh, and of course finding a waypoint. Yeah, I'll take that. Now, I want to comment for a moment on how this part of the game is making me feel, because immersion is an important factor. We've gone through several areas so far where we could see everything around us. Now we're in this dark cave, and we've only got a radius of light around us. And because of the music, and look how the water looks. Look at the graphics there. Because of the music, and because of the fact that the game is fairly slow-paced, I feel like I'm actually alone and exploring a dark, unexplored area with potential danger around any given corner. And I like that. I like that level of immersion is actually there. I feel my commentary takes away from that a little bit, because you obviously can't feel alone when somebody's talking to or with you. And I feel that being on Skype with another player would take away from that too. But solo, if you were playing this on your own, this could very well be relaxing while also at the same time a tad bit invigorating. This particular area only, though. I'm not talking about the game as a whole. Just this area, because of how they set up the environment and the way the shadows move around your light source and things like that. Plus, there's always stuff to find in the deepest, darkest parts of the cave. Treasure chests that may or may not hold something valuable. Found a corpse. And we've been here before. Alright, I feel good about this. I haven't explored the other area of the cave here yet. And I am doing this mostly just for a nice little relaxing run through this place. It's fun. You know, very often when I'm creating my videos, I do try and keep the pace of the video moving. Like in Far Cry 3 or Dishonored or Half-Life, in most of the games that I play. I try to make sure I keep the pace moving so that things never get stale. Here, I feel inclined to do that more so because of how slow-paced the game is to start. But at the same time, I know there's nothing I can do about that. I can't force the issue. I can't make this game play faster or anything like that. So it's actually kind of different for me to be playing a slower-paced game and not be able to change how the game is presented or be able to change the pacing of the game. There's not a lot that I can do in that regard. I'm not complaining. It's just something that I'm commenting on, and I do find it a little bit fun. I must admit, it's different. It's pretty cool. Especially when the game doesn't pose too much of a threat yet, but you know that later that it will. It feels like training, or it feels like just before going into a dangerous situation, things are easy, but you know things will get harder later, so you kind of appreciate the easy, don't you? So there's that. And this is just one long session of Path of Exile. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Alright. So we explored the whole first area of this cave. I'm not reading chat. I don't really have the capacity to read chat, commentate, play the game, learn it, explain everything, and stay alive as a hardcore character all at the same time. And attempt to be entertaining at the same time. Am I stuck here? No, there's a bridge. These hanging light sources, like chandeliers or something like that, just kind of floating in the air. That's kind of cool. I like those. So if you've stuck around this long in the video, I'm assuming you're enjoying Path of Exile. You're enjoying the idea of it, at least. And that's good. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. I probably wouldn't mind doing more of this kind of stuff. However, don't expect this to be linear. That sort of thing limits me a lot in these games. This is why I like melee characters, because they're like so easy to just do whatever with. That's why I like my monk in Diablo 3. The monk was like the ultimate do whatever class in Diablo 3. Oh, come on, just die. I thought I killed that thing already. Okay, these things are annoying because I can't tell when they're dead. They squeak like they die when you hit them, but then they don't actually die. Oh, I see. You break one, and then it loses. So those are like, they're like symbiotic. You break that thing, and then the one underneath it comes out. Okay, that was confusing me a little bit. See, that's a pretty unique enemy right there. Ooh, a short bow. It's got a red and blue linked socket. Now there are gems called support gems, and if I had a red skill gem for my bow, I might be able to put a blue support gem, or vice versa. You put a skill gem and then a support gem which modifies that skill. So if you find items that have a lot of gem slots that are linked together, you can create very powerful abilities. And that's the general idea. One thing I like about these types of games, I don't really play these games for the story. To be honest, I don't care what's going on in Path of Exile right now. These kind of games are all about the gameplay. And to me, while most people do play these games like very hardcore, and they're like playing these games for like 12 hours a day, and they're finding out which mobs have like the best drop chances for what items and things like that, and that's probably the ideal way to play hardcore. But while most people play for that aspect, I don't. I play just for the gameplay. I like clicking on things and killing them. I like the gameplay style of it, and what I think I like most about this kind of game is the treasure. I like finding new items, looking at them, comparing them, doing cool things with them, and like whenever you find that really good item, I like that feeling. I like seeing that happen. I like sharing my items with friends. I like having items shared with me by friends and trading and things like that. So I can make my character better. And obviously the story is what keeps you doing it, but in the long run, you need to be able to do this for the enjoyment of just playing the game. And that's what I do. I like playing just like this. And even just now, even just talking to you guys as I play is enjoyable. And it's a very easy way. This is a very easy kind of game to do that with. Let's go ahead and... Do I really want to identify this? I'm not going to use it. So no, I won't identify it. Ooh, a copper sword. With a linked red and green slot, I will be I could turn it into a magic item too, but I'll wait. I'll wait till I get one more orb of transmutation and maybe one more weapon, and then start dual wielding just to try it out. And I did gain a skill point, so let's do that. You guys thought I didn't notice while I was talking. I just refrained from mentioning it until I see it. So if I do this, I'll get more intelligence, so more mana. What does mana do for me? Every 2 intelligence gives me 1 mana. Every 5 intelligence gives me 1% energy shield. Sweet. Okay. Let's do that. So I gain more mana from doing that. And then I'll jump back up into dexterity and shoot over to the right and start working on sword. Ooh. Has died at position 24 on the ladder. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that was happening. And people are saying rest in peace. Oh, that's pretty cool that it tells you when somebody actually dies in hardcore. Where is my position on the ladder? I typically don't care about that kind of thing, but I want to see where I am on the ladder. Character panel. I'm just curious. You only YOLO once. That's hilarious. I'm hoping somebody will tell me where I stand on the ladder. What is that? The Deep Dweller. I think that's what I'm here to kill. And you see, that mob is interesting to me because I know I'm here to kill it. And it looks fun to fight. I mean, it's an interesting monster. Okay, so let's go kill it. Bam. 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 Burn. Okay, so it's burning. Burn more. Burn more. Slow down. Slow down. While I speed up. Ouch. Okay, so it's got a slow. Okay, extra cold damage. Resists fire, so I definitely want to be using my cold abilities on it. Or alternatively, just this thing. Just chop that thing up. So my ice shot. Oh! The thing has a second layer to it as well. Oh, this could be bad. It had some support. Alright. Driftwood Maul, that's pretty cool. 19 armor vest. A couple of corroded blades, one of which has 2 gem slots. I'll pick that one up, leave the other. Okay. So now I return to town for my reward. I'm just gonna go and explore the rest of this place. Just because this is peaceful and down-tone. Just because I feel like doing it. I see some stuff over here on the map that I want to go check out. I don't know why I like exploring caves. It's fun to me. I mentioned that in my Far Cry 3 playthrough as well. In a recent one, actually. Not sure if that one's actually aired yet, now that I think about it. Yeah, I think I'm definitely preferring melee, which is good. I figured that out. Now, this is a hardcore character, and it is my first character, so this character is gonna die. But whenever I start over a new character, it'll probably be a melee-based character. Okay, so that's everything here, I believe. Maybe. We can go this way and explore the southeastern area. Nothing here. I think there's more off this way, though. Let's go give a look-see. What is this? Can I click on that? I can't click. I thought that was people linking stuff in chat. Oh, okay. Requires level 6. Oh, you check with /ladder. Okay. There's Crippers. It's only 1 through 10? Where am I on this /ladder? Does it only go through 10? /ladder streamy. I don't know. Gonna go explore this part of the cave, which is actually, there's nothing left to explore. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Well, it looks like Hooker died at level 49. And everyone's like, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. That's actually kind of funny.
You managed to kill Granddaddy Crab. A pity you couldn't lug it up out of the caves for us. Could have made quite the chowder out of it. No matter. We've got one less reason to fear the dark, and I've got one more thing to thank you for.
Gained a level. Alright, let's sell some stuff. I want the copper sword. And this corroded blade, 9 to 18, 7 to 13, 4 to 10. Yeah. I want these two. Okay, apparently I can't drag that. I don't need this bow or this or this. 19 armor with a blue slot. Don't need that. I don't need this rusted spike. Go ahead and accept that. Goodbye. Four to 8, 4 to 10. So I don't need either of these either. I can sell these. I want this one and this one to be the items. So these will be for sale.
Still alive, are we?
Now, if I use these, I think they're doing it on their own. Orb of Transmutation. Let me go ahead and make a magic sword with that. No, I'll wait till I get 2 of those. That's fine. Alteration shards. Let's just go ahead and keep doing stuff. Actually, I think this video has gone on long enough. I'd like to keep playing. I don't think this will be a linear set of videos if I do continue to make videos on this. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep playing the game. And I will periodically come out with videos. I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. But don't expect us to follow the story of the game, because I don't really care for the story of the game that much, to be honest with you. I just like the gameplay. So, and I do really like the gameplay. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I hope you guys got a good view of what this game is like to start out. I encourage you, if you're interested in the game, to go to Twitch TV and look up some streams, namely Kripparrian stream. I'll go ahead and put a link in the video description. He's actually the guy that you see in the number 6 slot right here as a level 51 Templar. I invite you, or I encourage you to go look at his stream, because he's bound to have some high-level Path of Exile play going on, most likely, and I know that he streams every night for many, many hours a night. He's part of Team No Life, and those guys really do play a lot. So they provide pretty consistent entertainment as far as a Twitch stream is concerned. So anyway, yeah, you guys have seen this, and this has been fairly slow-paced. If you're into a more action-oriented game, then this game may actually become that at the higher levels. And of course, there's all kinds of different leagues and stuff that you'll want to get into. I did mention that I would talk about other things that excite me about this game, and I mentioned the leagues. The leagues are short-lived leagues of certain rules that you can play in. So we're playing right now in the Hardcore League. But every now and then they might come out with something like the Iron Man League. And let's say the Iron Man League will last for a weekend, like 48 hours. It lasts for Saturday and Sunday. And the Iron Man League is played under a different rule set. For example, your mana doesn't regenerate. You can only regenerate with potions and stuff like that. Like your mana doesn't regenerate, and you can't sell to vendors, for example. You can't trade with vendors. So that makes the game harder, and it encourages players to pool together and play as a unified group in order to survive. And of course, there are other different types of leagues they can also do, like the Cutthroat League, which might last again for like a week. I don't know. But of course, the goal is to get to the top of the ladder to be one of the players who technically, quote, wins the league. So they have these short-lived leagues that come out, and the Cutthroat League is where every area in the world is public. Like what we've been playing in right now are all these instanced areas. Like every time I go to a new zone, it's instance. I'm the only one out there. But in a Cutthroat League, every area would be public, the way the town is here. And every area is also PvP. And when you die, you drop all of your loot. So that makes the game cutthroat. It's very PvP oriented. So you'd want to play with real life friends in groups, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff. And it's cutthroat. You want to see who comes out at the top of the ladder at the end of the week of that Cutthroat League to see who technically won and stuff like that. So that's a different way that this game can be played. And these are leagues that come out periodically that the developers will put out for the game. And I'm pretty sure they'll announce some sort of a schedule on what types of leagues are coming out and when. There's also, like, for example, an attrition league where, like, every 12 minutes they drop the player at the bottom of the ladder off of the league until eventually either only one player remains, or at the end of a certain period of time, the top 10 players will win or something like that. So it's a lot of that. Leagues is something that really excites me about this game, because it means you're not always playing the same game. It means there's new things for you to do under new rule sets. Also, well, actually, just go ahead and read up on leagues at Path of Exile's website. I will put a link to Path of Exile's website, a link to the Leagues area where you can read more about Leagues, and of course at Path of Exile's website you can download, sign up, and play this game for free because it is in open beta right now. And I'll put a link to Kripparrian's YouTube and Kripparrian's Twitch.tv stream if you're interested in all of this stuff. That ought to be enough resources to get you started. I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed watching me learn the game. I hope you enjoyed learning the game alongside me. If you've got any tips or anything like that that you want to leave me, if you're an experienced Path of Exile player because you've been playing in the beta, or maybe you've been playing for more hours than I have and you know more stuff, feel free to leave a comment and give me some tips and things like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I think I will make this just one long video, because I don't want to cut this up. I don't really want to make this a series. I just want it to be sort of an introduction. So again, if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Hit that like button. If you didn't, leave me a comment. Let me know why. All that good stuff. So that'll do it. Yeah, I think we're all set. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time. I can't swing in town. I was hoping to end on some swings. I can do my sword dance. Okay, I just have to know. Okay, slash dance doesn't work. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Wow, she looks evil.
Mm-hmm.